let me know when you guys are ready, and I will begin.
Go for it.
All right, as you can tell, maybe you can't tell. Oh, well, it works. There we go. So that's time management. So, question: has this ever been you guys before?
So good.
I feel like this way too often. Way more than I would like to feel like this. Oh crap, was that today? Like with my assignments, with my job, like anything, like oh crap, was that today? Or I have that going on today. So my goal is to teach you, I'm not gonna be able to cover everything in time management. People write books and books upon this thing, upon this kind of thing. I'm gonna show you what works for me. And just a simple strategy that I've been using recently, and it's actually been working. I'm not perfect, but I'm getting a little bit better. And at the end of this, if you guys, obviously you guys have any comments or whatever, just let me know, like, express them. And at the end of this, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to kind of like, think of well, we're gonna do some application there of what's been happening. So, my Scoutmaster used to tell me that time is the most precious resource that we have. It's something you can't borrow time, you can never get it back. Like, once you have it, it's the most precious, but yet at the same time, it's the most expendable resource that's out there. And that scares me, because how am I using my time? Am I using it properly? Stephen Covey says the key is not to spend time, but to invest it. And I didn't really understand what that meant until just recently. And I'll get to that in a little bit. So up here we see like how much time do we really have? We're at 24 hours in a day, etc. Like 160 hours a week, 730 hours a month. Seems like a lot, but in reality it's not that much. Some interesting facts. On average we spend about 7 years in the bathroom, 6 years eating, 5 years waiting in line, 3 years in meetings, 2 years playing telephone tag, 8 months opening junk mail, and 6 months waiting at red lights. That's like average lifetime. Seems like a lot, but in the moment to moment, like it doesn't seem like too much, but like little things add up. This is true. Time management, in order to begin time management, you have to begin self-managing yourself. Because it really is just how we use resources. Are we investing our time into things that will help us later on in life? Or are we wasting it playing Minecraft or Pokemon or Facebook or, I don't know, pick your distraction and insert it. In order to start managing ourselves, we need to fully understand how we are spending our times. There are a lot of little time trackers online where you have like an expected day and you have the actual outcome of the day, and you just kind of go through and track it. And I'm gonna try that one of these days, and I'll let you guys know how it is, because I've always seen it and I want to apply it, but I've never had the diligence to do so, like the self-control necessary. So this is just as much for me as it is for you. How many of you guys have ever heard the story? Well, how many of you guys like fishing, first of all? Okay. What's the difference between, I don't know how I'm gonna say this. Basically, okay, so I heard the story of this fisherman who got out there on the lake early, but he spent like 3 or 4 hours okay, so he's gone from his house all day, but in reality he was only spending like 3 or 4 hours on the lake. And because of that, he was so busy, he was caught up with his flies, he was just trying to figure out the net, he was trying to make sure his map where he was going where he wanted to be. Like, he thought he was being productive all day, but he actually didn't do anything. He was just kind of doing the activity, but he wasn't really receiving the end results that people really need. I do this all the time when I'm studying. Like, I think I'm doing things that are productive, or like I get on Wikipedia and I get on a tangent way off somewhere, and I'm learning about Icelandic sheep when I should be studying about geometry, but like just tangents to take you somewhere. Like, you feel like you're being productive, but in reality you're just kind of going through the motions and no real results are coming out of that. That's what we want to avoid. And this comes with the whole self-awareness and self-management thing. You need to understand what are your distractors and what's helping you catch fish, and is it really important to organize your lures how you want them, or is it more important just to get your line in the water and start catching fish? If we wait for the perfect opportunity to do something, nothing will ever get done. But again, by show of hands, how many of you heard of the big rocks, little rocks analogy by Stephen Covey? Okay, cool, I can teach you guys something. So there's this analogy basically it's like you have a jar and you have like sand in it and you have rocks and you're trying to figure out how can you get them all in the same place at the same time because they won't fit. If you try and put the sand in first, it won't fit. And Covey talks about putting your big rocks in first because it seems almost magical, but if you put all the big things in first and the smaller items and then you pour in the sand, everything just seems to magically fit. And it's kind of the same with our lives. If you focus on the priorities, what truly is important or what you deem important, then everything else will fit in your life, and the other stuff that doesn't fit just kind of fades away. And along with that, there's this chart called the time quadrants, and I really like this. And I recently split up my to-do list in these different kind of time quadrants. We're just going to go through these really quickly and kind of discuss them. You guys are reading them right now, though. So the first one is what I'm really good at, the procrastinator. So like things are urgent and they're important and you have zero time to do them and you need to do them now. For example, exam tomorrow, your friend gets injured, stuff like that. These are really important things that need to be done now. Then down here you have not important but they're urgent. These are things like Facebook messages, like texts, I don't know, just like interruptions, like small people problems, like they're not really important. They won't affect you in 5 years later. Like they really won't, but you're spending so much time on them. Number 4, you have the slacker. I also fall into this one as well. Too much TV, Netflix binging, just anything and everything. You're just pushing it all off. And it's not important, it's not urgent, so you can do it. And you think that's okay. This is where we need to be. We need to be up here in the upper right quadrant, which is kind of cool because like it's like a graph like shooting off into the distance, like progression. But the prioritizer, things that are important but they're not urgent, which means you're on top of things, you're getting things done the way they should be, and you have time to schedule them into your day to where it's going. This when I get into this quadrant, I feel so good about myself. I feel like I'm being productive. I feel like I'm working hard, and things get done properly. I've heard it said there's no such thing as a difficult task, just easy things done at the wrong time. And if we start working on things now, what's the best way to kill a shark? When it's small. If you wait till it grows, if you wait till it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, then it's going to be harder, and it's going to be harder and harder, and your chances of killing that shark are going to decrease. But if you can see a problem in the future and plan for it, and then cut its head off sort of thing, it'll work. Just another thing. And I think it's interesting, like these are how you should prioritize what your to-do list is. Do the urgent, important things right away. If your friend is bleeding, help them out. Then move to the things that are still important, but they're due later on. Not important, and then the 4 quadrant really can just fall off the face of the earth. All right, so I want everyone to, in the last couple of minutes, I want everyone to pull out a sheet of paper and write down just 5 of your to-do list things, because we all have a mental list of things that need to get done.
For today or for?
Whatever, you guys decide. Just write down 5 things, first 5 things that flow in your mind of things that you need to get done, or important things. Like at the end of the day, like, did I get this done, sort of thing.
You want us to arrange them, Ian?
We're going to do that in a second. I want you just to write them down, and then we're going to go ahead and do it right now. After you write them down, just put them in just a little exercise. Split them up into different quadrants. I want you guys to be able to determine between what is urgent and needs to be done now, what is important but it can be done later, and things that are not important and things that won't be done. Oh.
And you only want 5?
Yeah, this is just an example. Some tips before I wrap up. Like, just get a calendar. Find a method that works for you. Talk to your buddies about time management. What did they do? Someone you admire, they're probably pretty organized. I use a Google Calendar personally. I used to use a planner. Sometimes I see people use flashcards. They write down their to-dos on a flashcard and they have to get it done by the end of the day. Set realistic goals that you won't get mad at yourself if you can't accomplish them at the end of the day. Then track your goals and track how well you're doing. I have a sheet on my wall that like the different things that I want to get done every day. And at the end of the night, I'll go and I'll mark it off if I got it or not. There are cool things like focus.com. If you have a hard time focusing, like it'll go on there and just say the websites that you can't go on for the next couple of hours, and you will not be able to go on them for the next couple of hours. These tips are really nice. They're what I should use more often. But I believe that's the end of my presentation. Thank you guys very much. If you guys have any questions, let me know.
I was just thinking about you won't be able to go on like Netflix, you know? But there's an app. Can't stop you from going on the app.
Well, if you're using your computer, then it won't let you. But if you're using like a phone or something. But in the end, it always comes down to self-control.
Yeah.
Do you need external things to and some people do.
So sometimes like you do, like when I get stuff done is when it's in quadrant number 1 and I procrastinated them for the longest time, then I have to. I just have to force myself to do it. I know it's bad and I'm trying to change, but that's the reality. That's the reality of it right now. So.
Yeah, I have what I call email checking disorder, where I'm like constantly going, oh, I gotta check my email. I'm putting out little fires in that, so I'm in quadrant 1 often, and I need to get to quadrant 2, and so if I can have some kind of like cold turkey is another one, I guess, and it cuts